My sister was paying my rent and stuff. If you're in a dark place, like, you can mask it for a certain while, but it doesn't last forever.
Dave Allen's struggle with gambling wasn't just a bad habit. It was a silent war he fought behind closed doors. At first glance, he was the charismatic heavyweight boxer, known for his sense of humor and resilience in the ring. But underneath the surface, Dave was drowning in an addiction that slowly chipped away at his spirit, his finances, and his relationships.
You're always acting the clown, Dave. You're trying to be funny, you're trying to be funny. Yeah, I'm trying to be funny, yeah. Because if I'm not trying to be funny, I'm fucking, what do you want me to do?
He often spoke candidly about how gambling had a grip on his life. It started off small, like it does for many, placing bets here and there, chasing the rush. But soon, it spiraled out of control. He wasn't just betting on sports for fun anymore. He was gambling with his future, sinking thousands of pounds into bookmakers, sometimes blowing his entire fight purses in a matter of days. Even when he won, it wasn't enough. The thrill of the win quickly turned into the torment of needing more.
That's the wake up and I think, I want to fucking bet today. When it's good racing, you know when Ascot's on, it's a derby next week. I think, I'll wake up and I think, fucking hell, I really want to bet today.
The emotional toll was devastating. He confessed to feeling ashamed, even worthless at times. There were days when he didn't want to get out of bed, when the weight of his losses was so heavy that it crushed his motivation. The gambling wasn't just draining his bank account. It was eating away at his mental health, leaving him isolated and anxious. What made it even more painful was that people saw the smiling, joking white rhino, not the man sitting alone at night wondering how he let things get this far. He admitted to hiding it, not asking for help because of the guilt and pride. It wasn't just about money. It was about control, and for a long time, he felt like he had none. Eventually, Dave confronted the truth. He spoke publicly about the damage gambling had done to him, not to glamorize it, but to warn others.
I still have bad days now, you know, things are looking really up, but anyone will tell you it's not always rainbows and butterflies or whatever the saying is. I've been to the doctors, I've been to see a lot of counselling or whatever.
He didn't try to paint himself as a victim or make excuses. Instead, he used his story to show the reality of addiction, the loneliness, the regret, the endless cycle of hope and despair. In hearing him speak, you can feel the pain he carried and the courage it took to break free. His honesty, raw and unfiltered, is a reminder that even the toughest among us can fall, and that seeking help isn't weakness, but a kind of strength most people never see.
Chapter 2. How Eddie Hearn Exploited Dave Allen. Allen turned pro in 2015, scraping by with low-paid sparring gigs before being offered early opportunities to make money fast due to his gambling debts and personal struggles. He quickly gained visibility through his personality and willingness to step in at short notice. Matchroom's Eddie Hearn took notice, signing him as an entertaining undercard attraction in high-profile events despite limited amateur credentials or long-term boxing prospects. Only 11 pro fights in, Allen was matched against Dillian Whyte soon after Whyte's fight with Anthony Joshua. Many viewed it as a serious mismatch arranged for Whyte's benefit, paid £30,000, with Allen serving as a durable opponent. Similar patterns followed. Short-notice bouts against Luis Ortiz, one of the world's hardest punchers, because Allen needed immediate funds to cover gambling debts. Hearn facilitated these, exploiting Allen's financial vulnerability. Allen challenged Lenroy Thomas for the vacant Commonwealth heavyweight title in May 2017, losing a split decision after 12 rounds. A rematch in March 2018 was declared a technical draw after a first-round cut halted the fight. Both bouts were substantial opportunities, yet they highlighted the limits of his level, with Hearn often positioning Allen into two big fights without adequate preparation. Allen earned the biggest win of his career by knocking out ex-WBA regular champion Lucas Browne in April 2019, a rare high point when Hearn backed him in a credible upset. But 4 months later, Allen came up short against David Price in July 2019. He was dominated across 10 rounds before his corner stopped the fight. Allen later said this match left him terrified to spar or fight again, marking a major turning point. Allen has been candid about his gambling addiction, depression, and self-harm, revealing that many of his high-risk fights stemmed from a need to pay off debts. He described being in bad shape, emotionally and physically, and fighting in dangerous conditions due to money pressure. Hearn benefited by blessing these fights and packaging Allen's fighting spirit for entertainment, even when Allen later admitted they made little sense for his health or boxing progression. On 15 November 2020, at just 28 years old, Allen announced his retirement. "I don't want to get punched anymore. I just want a quiet life with a wife and some kids." Chapter 3. Dave returns to the ring. Once dismissed as a journeyman, a punchline, a man who'd taken too many hits and had little left to prove, Dave Allen did the unthinkable. He resurrected himself from retirement, walked straight back into the lion's den, and stared down a wrecking machine named Johnny Fisher. Not once, but twice. This wasn't just a comeback. It was a resurrection. The robbery in Riyadh. December 21, 2024, Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Fisher, the undefeated Romford Bull, arrived with the full force of hype and matchmaking behind him. He was undefeated, untested, and expected to steamroll the aging Allen. But Allen had come to ruin the narrative. From the opening bell, Allen absorbed fire, walking through Fisher's best punches with stoic defiance. Then, in round 5, lightning struck. A thunderous right hand from Allen shattered Fisher's composure, and the undefeated star crashed to the canvas, broken and exposed for the first time in his career. The fight shifted. Allen stalked him like a predator, outlanding, outthinking, and outlasting his younger foe. By the final bell, the writing was on the wall. Dave Allen had dismantled the myth of Johnny Fisher. But then came the scorecards, a controversial split decision awarded to Fisher. Boos rained down. Commentators were stunned. Pundits called it a robbery, a travesty, a mockery of justice. Even betting sites paid out on Allen, admitting he'd clearly done enough to win. But Allen didn't rant. He didn't beg. He simply walked away, head high, knowing what the world had seen. "They stole the win," he said, "but they'll never steal my pride." The vengeance in London. May 17th, 2025, Copper Box Arena, London. Redemption demanded blood, and Allen came ready to deliver it. The rematch was a boiling cauldron of unfinished business. 8,000 fans packed into the Copper Box, many expecting another passing of the torch. But Allen wasn't here to pass anything. He was here to burn the whole script. He entered heavier, harder, hungrier. While Fisher landed jabs and body shots in the early rounds, Allen bided his time, coiled like a spring. Then, in round 5, he detonated. A savage barrage of punches rattled Fisher to his core. A right hand sent him tumbling face first to the canvas, barely conscious. He stood on instinct, but Allen unleashed a hellish left hook at the bell that shattered any hopes of recovery. Fisher's corner saw the writing on the wall and threw in the towel. Allen had done it. From overlooked to undeniable, from controversy to total conquest, from being robbed in the desert to reigning in the capital. Dave Allen may see himself as just an ordinary man, humble in his journey and grounded in his roots. But to us, the people who cheer for him, who draw inspiration from his grit and heart, he stands as a true hero. In his courage, we see the spirit of the nation, resilient, determined, and proud. He fights not just for himself, but for every one of us who believes in rising above the odds. In the end, Eddie Hearn, driven by greed and blinded by the gleam of easy profit, tried to manipulate and corrupt Dave Allen, to mold him into a disposable commodity rather than the dignified man and fighter he truly is. Like a poacher stalking one of Earth's last white rhinos, Eddie underestimated his prey. He mistook Dave's humility for weakness, his humor for naivete, and his working-class roots for a lack of ambition. But what he failed to grasp was that Dave Allen is no ordinary man. He is a survivor, a warrior forged in the fires of adversity, a proud son of Britain who refuses to be broken. Just as the white rhino slips into the mists of the savannah, defying extinction, Dave Allen evaded the traps laid by those who sought to exploit him. Eddie, with all his influence and schemes, failed, not because he lacked power, but because Dave Allen's resilience is untouchable. His spirit, like the last of an endangered species, is too pure, too strong, and too unyielding to be captured or caged. This isn't the end. Far from it. This is only the beginning. With his integrity intact and his heart still beating for the fight, Dave Allen stands tall, a symbol of working-class grit, northern pride, and unshakable character. His story isn't one of defeat, but of triumph. He has endured the worst the sport could throw at him and came through it with his soul undamaged. Now, he walks forward not as a pawn, but as a man in control of his own destiny. The white rhino is not extinct. He's alive, he's charging, and his best days are still ahead.